Gary Ayd Show for a Tuesday edition. Truncated as it might be, 1 hour today, going to about 11 o'clock. Gary Ayd, Rich Anselmo, good to have you aboard. Of course, you can find us in all the usual places, cavetalkradio.com, Cave Talk Radio app, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Facebook, and YouTube Live. So, anyway, the post-Super Bowl doldrums. Although we do have one big local story today. The New York Knicks beat the Brooklyn Nets for the first time in a long time yesterday. And there was a tandem, the tandem, I should say. It wasn't a tandem, it was the tandem. The tandem of Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle. I'll tell you what, the Knicks are in good hands with these two. They have really established themselves as a true duo. Every night you get quality production out of both of these guys. And yeah, Randall has his moments where he's a little bit funky. But the truth is, for the most part, he is really, really good. Brunson has his off shooting nights, as does everybody. But these guys are really good together, Rich. And to be honest with you, I posted on our Facebook page, Cave Talk Radio NY, a question. Are they better? Who's better? The Knicks? Why are we posting the alphabet, Dylan? Just curious. I mean, I'm glad we have the alphabet, but does it need to be posted here? Weird. But right now, I think the Nets actually have probably more NBA quality rotation players, but I think the Knicks have better players overall because of the combination of those two. Barrett is still kind of iffy, but he has his nights. When they get Robinson back, that'll help. But this is a good team with Quentin Grimes is a good piece. Josh Hart is a huge addition at the trade deadline, rather. All-Star break coming up. But honestly, Rich, watching this game, it all comes down to the fact that those two guys play so brilliantly together. And now after the trades, the Nets don't have that. The Knicks do. And it illustrates what we've known about the NBA since the dawn of the league. Star players, the teams with the better top shelf players win more than they lose.
Yes, they do.
Like a lot more.
Absolutely agree. You know, I'm going to give props to Dorian Finney-Smith here.
Mm-hmm.
He just got there.
Yes.
It didn't take him long to show leadership. He asked the players to stay there through the All-Star break so we can work on chemistry.
Mm.
Are they going to do it? I don't know. But I think it's a great, great look for him.
Yes. Agreed. Totally agree. And, you know, the thing about the Knicks now is that you have the expectation as a fan, and you assume this is the case with the players, that most nights when you go onto the court, you feel you can win. A lot of nights you feel you should win. And it's been a long time, a very long time, since Knicks fans could feel that way. I mean, the last time they were in the playoffs a couple of years ago, it was sort of like a surprise, right? Like it was really like playing with house money the whole season. You never really knew what to make of it other than you were enjoying it. 2012 was the last time this team had like some level of expectation on itself. And you know, they pretty much, I think, topped out with what that team was capable of, going to the second round and losing there. This is the first time, I think, since then. So in 11 years, and probably only like the second time in the last 30, where if you're a Knicks fan, you can really think on a nightly basis, hey, my team has a chance tonight. Almost every night. And that's something that is fresh. It's new. This rivalry game, I think, was certainly, there was buzz at the Garden last night because of it. There was a lot of, how can you say it? competitive energy coming from both sides of things. And the Knicks won a game where they were down pretty big at one point. Brooklyn was playing really well. The problem for the Nets, when you start going through the box score in this one, the problem for the Nets is they pretty much had two guys doing most of the work. I mean, they got almost nothing from their other starters, if I remember. I mean, there was I think Dinwiddie had about 30 or just under it, something around there. And when you look at the rest of the team, there was like one other guy that scored. I'm pulling up the box score right now just to remind myself where we're at here. Here we go. Where are we? Knicks and Nets. Here we are. So the Knicks won 124 to 106. Brunson scored
and it
40.
wasn't that close.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. Brunson scored 40. Okay, so the Dinwiddie had 28, and Cam Johnson and Nick Claxton both in double digits. No other starter was. No one on the bench was. Knicks, meanwhile, got 40 from Brunson, 18 and 10 from Randall. And that was kind of that. 27, though, off the bench for Josh Hart and 14 for Quickly. That's the thing.
Yeah, Hart was really good.
He was. And that's the thing. The Knicks have depth at the backcourt position now. You got Brunson in the starting lineup with Barrett, who did not have a good game, just 2 of 8 for 4 points. But then you have Quickly and Hart off the bench. That's pretty good.
It is.
That's pretty good. Derrick Rose didn't play again. Yeah, he's out of the rotation. I'm surprised he wasn't moved at the trade deadline. I really am.
I don't think anyone's going to give you anything for him.
Well, you don't really need anything for him as much as like they don't need to get anything for him. I mean, they're pretty much just letting him sit there. So they could have just, because there was a lot of considerable talk about moving him just to do the right thing and give him a chance to compete somewhere. And play. That it was more about just doing right by Derek, not so much value for what you're going to get. Because you're not going to get much for
him. Sims and Hartenstein kind of alternated at the center spot.
Yes,
and I thought Hartenstein did well.
Yeah, he played pretty good. He
was active on the boards, as was Sims. Hartenstein drew the defense away from the basket, which opened a lot up. In fact, Hart took advantage of it a lot. The backcourt depth is impressive. When Robinson gets back, having Sims and Hartenstein as bigs to come off the bench will be impressive. I think it'll cut Toppin's minutes a little bit. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot they can do there and a lot of different combinations.
Yeah, there's no question about it. I mean, they have real talent here. They have their draft capital. They're going to have some salary cap flexibility. They got a solid coach. I mean, you really look at the Knicks now as if there is a free agent, an A-list free agent to be had for the first time in a very long while. The Knicks are a legitimate and justifiable destination. It's what I said a few years ago when the Nets were making their splashes with KD and Kyrie, and everyone was saying that they're going to go to the Knicks. When they went to the Nets, I said, look, I don't think this is going to work, but the reason the Nets are in this position is because they decided to crawl before they walked. They decided to build organically with good quality players, good role players that some of them turned into starters. Some of them turned into borderline all-stars like Spencer Dinwiddie. And then you had the right coach, the right culture, the right approach. You built a program basically. And then they were attractive to the stars. See, the Knicks have always taken the approach until now of just trying to go slam the stars and get 2 of them and then go from there. Well, these guys, in case you didn't know, these guys have options. So, like, why am I going to go be solely responsible, or even responsible with one of the guy if I'm coming as a pair? Why are we going to be solely responsible for cleaning your mess? Like, no, clean your room before you have the open house. Let me see the house in its finished state, not in like, oh, it's an investor special. No, I'm not an investor. I'm not a handyman. I'm an NBA all-time great, or I'm an NBA all-star. Like, I don't need to come in and clean up your room. Like, no, clean your room before I get there.
Those are the kind of offers you make fixer-upper players, guys that can step in and just fill a role.
Right, exactly.
Not someone who's going to be in a leading position.
Right. Like, no, I don't need to be your savior. If I'm LeBron, or if I'm KD, or if I'm Kyrie, or pick your all-star that's been on the market in the last years, if I'm one of those guys, I want to look at a situation and think, okay, with my ability, I'm the last piece. We can win a title here. I don't want to think, man, you guys need me badly just to be decent. Like, no, I'm not coming there for that. And finally, I think Lon Rosen, no surprise, given his background as a great agent for all these decades, understood that and built this the right way. And now the Knicks are a verifiable, attractive destination should they choose to go that route. Now they are someplace you would want to go. And, Thibodeau is a respected coach. You don't hear a lot of bad things about Tom Thibodeau from ex-players. You really don't.
No, you don't.
He drives people hard, but he's consistent about it. He's fair about it, and people like him. He gets the best out of his teams. And
he does. I haven't heard a lot of his ex-players say. The only thing I've heard them say is, yeah, he works.
Yeah, right.
But it's not in a bad way.
No, it's not. No, he's
and I mean, that's like Rose's coach.
Oh yeah. It's his dad, basically.
He loves playing for him and doesn't really want to play for anyone else.
Oh, absolutely.
I know he didn't want to get traded either.
No. Well, maybe that's what it boiled down to, is Rose said, hey guys, look, I'm fine just being like the veteran locker room guy at this stage, and I'm happy to just be here. That's possible.
Apparently he's playing the role well in practice, from what I hear.
I believe
which is nice.
I totally believe it. So, either way, really good.
It's the same thing Kevin Love's doing in Cleveland.
Yep.
Told him they were taking him out of the rotation, and his attitude was, okay, I'm disappointed, but I'm just going to help the kids the best way I can.
Yep. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. All right, well, let's take our first break. We'll come back. We'll do the question of the day. Big win by the Knicks. Again, 1 hour today. So we got the question of the day. We'll put in the top 5 today just for the hell of it. And we'll do some news you can use. So that's what's on tap the rest of the way. Back after this, the Gary Ayd Show here on The Cave.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't, and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. That's 800-741-9557. If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. Ouch! Well, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers. If you administer insulin 3 or more times per day or use an insulin pump, call now and learn how a CGM can help you.
Painless. No more pricking my finger.
No finger pricks.
Convenience. They delivered it free and they took care of all the paperwork.
You can reduce pain right away. Plus, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you spend more time in range. And if you have insurance, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Call now and get free shipping of your new CGM BGM. Plus, we'll bill your insurance for you. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. That's 800-826-5884.
Experts say less is more. I am KO. Back in a minute with your sports question of the day.
Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian Faith Publishing to publish their book? Because Christian Faith Publishing is an author-friendly publisher who understands that your labor is more than just a book. We provide authors freedom and flexibility throughout the publishing process, professional book editing, award-winning design, and some of the highest royalty structures in the publishing industry. And as always, you will retain 100% of the rights to your book.
I was looking to find a company that I could trust, one that assisted in the editing process completely.
The most important qualities that I was looking for was a publisher who was honest and upfront, no hidden costs or fees, and owning the rights to my own work.
Christian Faith Publishing will publish, market, and sell your books in all major bookstores, online booksellers, as well as specialty Christian bookstores. Call for your free author submission kit.
Call 800-710-3720. 800-710-3720. 800-710-3720. Again, that's 800-710-3720.
Doctors are warning parents that young athletes are training too early, too hard, and with too little variety. Popular scientist Isabel Whitcomb reports that around a third of the nation's school-aged athletes focus on a single sport, and many of those athletes participate in intensive year-round training regimens while on multiple teams. Whitcomb says that experts in sports medicine and sports psychology are warning that single sport focus leads to increased risk of burnout and could have long-term consequences to their physical and mental health. Question: were you a single or multiple sport athlete?
I've often disagreed with this notion. I don't think being a single sport athlete at a young age is the problem. I think the ferocity and intensity of both the training, its frequency, and to the greatest extent is the greatest detriment, in my opinion, to young athletes is, are they losing the fact that they're having fun in pressure being put on them by their parents or other adults to excel? That's the big thing. To me, as long as it's still fun, and you're not driving this person to the brink of exhaustion because you want them to be the best or whatever. I don't really think it's a big deal if you only play one sport. I only played one sport. I exclusively played basketball. Really nothing else. I dabbled here and there, like 1 or 2 years of Little League. I dabbled with volleyball just kind of recreationally. But there was no other sport I practiced or trained for or did anything with. I mean, basketball was it.
I'm a little different. I played 2 sports.
Okay.
I enjoyed both, which is why I played them. I didn't have any of these illusions of going pro anywhere, but I just enjoyed both sports. And if I would have had the frame for it, I would have played football too.
Yeah, I considered playing baseball. I just wasn't good enough at it. But football never even entered my mind. But, and I think that's not I mean, how many sports you play, I don't think is a cause of burnout or any type of long-term injuries. Look, I'm almost 40. I played a lot of basketball, and I played an aggressive style of basketball. I was an attacker. I was a driver. I don't have so much as a sore joint in my body. Not one. I don't know how many people my age who have had ankle surgeries, knee surgeries, all kinds of things from playing sports. So, and I only played basketball. So I don't agree with this idea that it's medically destructive to specialize early. I really don't. Now, I do agree with the other part of this, which is being too intense about it and having too much pressure on you will create burnout, because at a certain
Yes.
point it becomes like, pressure and something to be like concerned about and stressed about when it's presented that way versus something to look forward to and have fun with. And that you don't like. Look, there comes a time and place where that's necessary for the elite athletes, for the ones that actually do have a chance at making it to the highest level. That's what it takes to get there. But like, if you're talking, I take this question to mean John Q. public, kids, they don't need that. If you're at, one of these schools that like these, like St. Mary's, St. Anthony's, Sierra, where LeBron's kid goes, if you're at one of those schools, those type of people are going to have to be driven. At that point, you're at a point and a level where it's as much a job as it is an interest, because at some point that transition has to happen if you're going to make the highest levels.
But for 98% of us, that's not the case.
That's not the case, exactly.
Although I'll give you a great example. Wayne Gretzky played baseball and basketball in school.
Okay.
As well as hockey. Why? Because he liked them both.
Yeah.
Said his basketball coach hated him because he didn't pass enough, which is funny considering he's the best passer in NHL history.
Yeah, right.
But he just wanted to shoot the ball.
Oh man.
But I think everyone's different. I think a good percentage of the burnout comes from parents.
Yes, definitely.
Every bit as much as kids.
Oh God, yeah.
If you drive them to the point where it's more of a commitment than fun, that hurts more than anything else.
Yes, and like you said, for 98% of people, that's wholly unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
There is that 2% where at some point that has to be changed, because if you're really one of those people that has the physical tools to make a run at getting to the highest level, it's going to require intense work. And there's going to be many days when you feel it's a job and you're mentally burned out from working at it. But that's the price you pay for trying to make that level. And that's the case in any vocation. At a certain point, anything you do turns into a job.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But if you're going to do it at a level where you're going to get paid for it, that's what's required. That's just what's required.
And I was burned out for a time in the working world, trying to achieve a level which was pretty much unachievable from where I was.
Yeah, we all face those challenges in our work life.
Right.
And
right. It doesn't stop you from trying, but
and also there's a age that you reach at some point. Maybe it's 25, maybe it's 23, maybe it's 21, maybe it's 18. I guess it depends on the individual and those around them. But there's an age where you reach where the expectation is you can handle that. That you can, recognize it for what it is and be self-aware enough to take steps when you need to rejuvenate yourself.
Absolutely.
That whatever that age is not the age we're talking about in this question, though. We're not talking about 10-year-olds here or 11-year-olds or even high school age kids. There's an expectation of maturity, though, that comes with being an adult, that you can kind of take your own temperature, so to speak. And when you feel burnt out, do something about it to refresh yourself while still meeting your responsibilities. That is not an expectation I think needs to be placed on children or, teens. And I think, like you said, the parents have a lot to do with that burnout. They really do.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
And unfortunately, it's all too common.
Oh, it's way too common. When I was coaching youth sports, I yelled at parents more than I yelled at my kids. I really yelled.
Oh, I know.
Kids. Like, first of all, you feel weird yelling at someone else's kid, right? Like that. There's just this awkwardness about that. So I didn't like to do that, and I'm not a yeller to begin with. But like, man, some of these parents, oh, they're the worst.
I loved coaching baseball. And I had so much fun coaching the kids, but it was the parents that actually drove me out.
Yeah, the parents are the worst.
Dealing with them was just too much for me. When there was more frustration dealing with them than there was joy in teaching the kids, it was just too much.
Yep. Understood.
And it's a shame.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, like you said, the parents are they're the problem. They really are. All right. Well, there you go. That's our question of the day. An interesting one. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll do the top 5. 1 hour show today. The Gary Ayd Show, back after this here on The Cave.
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. 800-741-9557. That's 800-741-9557. If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. Ouch! Well, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers. If you administer insulin 3 or more times per day or use an insulin pump, call now and learn how a CGM can help you.
Painless. No more pricking my finger.
No finger pricks.
Convenience. They delivered it free and they took care of all the paperwork.
You can reduce pain right away. Plus, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you spend more time in range. And if you have insurance, you can get a new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. Call now and get free shipping of your new CGM. Plus, we'll bill your insurance for you. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. 800-826-5884. That's 800-826-5884.
All righty. It is time for the top 5.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time for King Talk Radio's Top 5.
Alrighty, there we have it. What do we got today, Rich?
Well, let's put the Super Bowl to bed.
Okay.
But let's do it with your final words. Give me your top 5 favorite plays in this year's Super Bowl.
Oh, man.
They don't have to be the top 5 most impact.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Be the ones you like the most, because this is about you and the game.
Well, Patrick Mahomes' run to like the 4-yard line or whatever it was stupendous to me. Like, he's known as a mobile quarterback to the extent that he extends plays and usually picks up short yardage scrambles. He's not really known as a guy that rips off 30-yard runs.
No, that was his longest run of the year, wasn't it?
I think it was. I mean, that was just epic. And given the context of the ankle problem right before half, that was just amazing. I mean, I think, and this is going to sound funny, but I think that ankle injury re-aggravation, whatever you want to call it, at halftime and his subsequent play in the second half and the team winning, I think that ankle injury might be the best thing that's ever happened for his legacy to this point in his career, because everything he did subsequent to it, like, he could have done all the same stuff. Had he not had an ankle injury, it would have been just another Patrick Mahomes performance, just another great performance. Given the context of that injury and what we all thought, it turned him into like folklore type of material. It really did. So
it did.
In a way, that injury was like the best thing that happened to him. So that was a big play. He had a couple of runs, but I'm just gonna settle on that one for representing the lot. That one sideline catch by the Philly tight end, Gobert, that was insane.
Yeah.
A guy is an ox. I didn't really know much about him going into this game or even who he was, to be honest. And he made a couple of plays in this game that made me go, "Oh my God, who is that guy?"
He was one of my props in the game.
He was. I remember. Oh, what a beast.
I should have bet it.
You should have.
I know.
Oh, what a beast. That catch was just massive. He's strong too. Like the way he caught the ball, he just looked like he was like pulling down like a javelin or an anchor or something. He just like snatched it out of the air with such force. So strong. So let's see who else. Well, I think my favorite player of the game was probably the one that didn't count, which was the second fumble recovery and return by Bolton. And the reason it was my favorite was because it was like, seriously, the same play to the same guy in the same game. Because, of course, he had the one that did count that probably is going to make the top spot on my list, I think. But, like, the second one that didn't count, I was just laughing hysterically the whole time. I was like, what are the odds the same thing's going to happen to the same guy? Oh, that was just so funny to me. And then, it didn't count. And that was also the right call. The receiver never moved his feet really or took a step. He caught the ball, but he never moved with the ball, which is one of the factors in a catch. So
right. That was a cool play, though.
It was. So that I think is going to be on the list. So far we got 3. We got that one. We got the catch by Gobert, and we got the run by Mahomes. I think the long play, the long touchdown in the first half to AJ Brown. I think it was AJ Brown. Was pretty cool. They just took the top off the defense and just went deep. That was impressive. Gonna give a little love to a kicker here. I don't know.
Please do.
I don't know that this will make my final list, but I think it was the Philly kicker kicked a field goal while falling on his ass from that awful field, and he made it. Like he's literally, you watch it on the replay, he's literally like falling halfway through his follow through. He's like, shit, I better get my foot forward and hit this thing before I go down. So that was pretty cool.
That was fun too. I remember somewhere, speaking of the field, a team executive at some point saying in November, you all are going to regret playing on that field for a Super Bowl. And
Why
I mean,
November?
Well, that's when he, was talking about it.
Oh, he was saying this in November.
Yeah, he said it was the worst field in the league.
Oh, I thought you meant in November, as in like November coming up. You're gonna regret having played it in February. I was like, what?
No,
no. Sounds like some kind of curse.
Hey, it could have been, and that was the biggest travesty of the game.
Yep. Yeah, that really was. And it's unfortunate, but ultimately, I guess the one thing about it is, it was the same disadvantage for both sides. So I guess
true.
True,
but why would you play your biggest game?
Why would you play on it? Right? Yeah. No. I agree with you 100%. At least it just all I was saying is it didn't give any team any particular edge. Like it just sucked for everybody and was unnecessary. All right, so we got 4. What I want is my last one. What was that one? I don't know if it was a sack or if it was. No, it wasn't a sack. But I
think there was only one sack in the game.
Yeah.
And Kansas City had it.
So maybe it was, but there was a play where it was a big play. It was, I think, in the early part of the third quarter, middle third quarter. It was a 3rd and long. Philly had the ball, and Hurts rolled out to his right was pressured out there, and it was Willie Gay chased him down. That's what it was.
Yes.
And I thought that was such a big play because up to that point, the Eagles had converted like every third down or converted on fourth down so many times. And I thought up to that point had been the key to them having had the lead in that game for so long, a 10-point lead at halftime, in fact. And I thought that was a key pivotal moment, a turning point that really solidified the momentum for the rest of the game, as it turned out for Kansas City. I thought that was an inflection point in the game and a really impressive play by Willie Gay.
It was. It really was. And like I said, I think that was the only sack of the game.
Yes, it was. I don't even know if he sacked him on that play or if he forced him to throw it out of bounds or whatever, but there was only one sack in the game. I just don't remember. I don't think it was that play though. But there was only one sack in the game. And that's a
amazing with those two defensive lines.
That's what I was just going to say. With those two defensive lines, that's a testament to both quarterbacks and to both offensive lines. Both of those quarterbacks are so slippery and so hard to corral, though. They really are.
Yes.
Hurts is a little faster, a little shiftier. Mahomes gets rid of the ball, a little bit quicker. He
buys time.
Yeah, he
does.
As
well as anyone.
Yeah, he absolutely does. It's pretty good stuff. So those two. All right, so let's rank these now.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with my favorite play being the one that didn't count. I know that's silly,
okay,
but because I just remember laughing hysterically the whole time that's happening. I was like, "What are the odds of this?" Because it was literally the same bounce of the ball, the same side of the field, the same defender. Like it was the same everything, except the guy who lost the ball wasn't the quarterback, who was a receiver. But I was like, "This is crazy. How this is even possible?"
Shows you how good of a player to be around the ball.
Oh, Nick Bolton is so good
in those situations. He is so much fun to watch.
Oh, he's a beast. Love watching him. He might be my favorite linebacker in the NFL right now.
Wow. I know you're a big Parsons guy.
I like Parsons, and I like him, and I like Khalil Mack. Those are my three guys that I really enjoy watching from the linebacker spot. One guy, not to get off track here, but just one quick thought. One guy that I wish played longer, who I loved watching, was Luke Kuechly. That guy was awesome.
Yes, he was.
I wish he played longer. I really do.
I do too.
Anyway, all right. So that's gonna be my number one. Number two is gonna be the Mahomes run. That was just epic. It was just epic. Number three. What are we gonna do? Number three. Let's go with the deep pass and catch by AJ Brown.
That was nice.
That was pretty awesome. Set the tone early. That was really impressive. Number four is gonna be the play by Willie Gay flushing Hurts and stopping them on third down there. I remember being on the phone with my buddy Rob. I was like, "Hey, look, Rob, the Eagles signed a punter. I didn't know they had one. I don't know if Sirianni knew they had one."
That was a big point in the game too, because I mean they needed that stop. And considering the Eagles defense couldn't make a stop in the second half.
Right.
That was clutch.
That was big. It was. And I felt it at the time. That's why it stands out in my mind. And it had been so hard for the Chiefs to close out defensive drives to that point against this Eagles team. It was a big deal. And then, so that was 4. What am I going to do with 5?
I don't know. You named a few pretty good ones.
I did. I think I'm going to go. with the Gobert catch. That was okay. That was pretty impressive to me. It really was. That was a really good catch. And it's one of those things that it shows you how good that team is, because he's pretty far down their list of offensive weapons in terms of when you start game planning. You're thinking Hurts, you're thinking Brown, you're thinking Gainwell, you're thinking what's the other receiver, Devontae Smith. You're thinking of all these guys, and then that guy makes one of the biggest downfield plays of the game. It's like, that's how you know you're playing against a great team. So that was impressive. So I think that's going to be my order. So number 1, the play that didn't happen. Number 2 is the Mahomes run. Number 3 is AJ Brown's long touchdown catch. Number 4 is Willie Gay's third down stop on Jalen Hurts. And number 5 is the Gobert catch on the sideline.
Nice.
That's my top 5.
And I say that puts the Super Bowl to bed.
Great one it was.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, there we have it. Let's take our final break. We'll come back and we'll finish it up with news you can use. 1 hour show today. Back after this to wrap it up here on The Cave.
Do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call. Because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at crazy low prices. They have access to great prices and discounts at over 500 different airlines. Plus 300,000 hotels and rental car companies. Their prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find the best price for you. Call SmartFares today and get ready to see the world with a fat wallet.
800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. 800-370-2460. That's 800-370-2460.
Come on, you watch the news. Be prepared to pay more taxes. Then if you owe back taxes or haven't filed in a few years, get ready. The IRS, the largest collection agency in the world, will be coming after you with the power to collect taxes by any means they want to. Hey, they can freeze your bank account, your passport, even padlock your business. Oh, good times. Look, if the IRS claims you owe them $5,000 or more in back taxes and they're coming after you, don't panic. Call my friends at Get a Tax Lawyer first. Their job is to negotiate with the IRS and save you money. They're experts at it. That's all they do, and you can trust them. In some cases, they have reduced a $50,000 tax bill to less than $1,000. If you owe the IRS $5,000 or more in back taxes, call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. 800-649-8617. That's 800-649-8617.
So this is interesting. Patrick Mahomes revealed on late night television, I think it was with Kimmel, that Andy Reid threatened to bench any player who left the locker room to watch Rihanna's halftime show.
Oh, that's funny.
And it probably wasn't even like, hey, you gotta focus. He's probably like, that music stinks. It's awful. Because like they asked him like beforehand, like what his favorite rappers, and he like didn't know any of them. He's like, no, stay here. Let's eat cheesesteaks at halftime or something. I don't know. Oh, that was funny. All right, what do we got for news you can use today?
Rihanna's not a rapper, but I get it.
I know she's not.
A short night in the NHL last night. One game involving a local, the Los Angeles Kings, scored 5 goals in the first 2 periods and beat Buffalo 5-2. 2 games tonight. Ottawa's at UBS Arena to play the Islanders, and New Jersey is in Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, LaMarcus Aldridge is trying to make a comeback.
Interesting.
He is in with the Dallas Mavericks right now, working out. They feel with Kleber out there missing one depth big.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if he has anything left. I mean, he's 37. It doesn't mean he can't do it.
Right.
But interesting.
It is interesting. I mean, it is. All right, let's do one more.
Okay, Jets hire passing game coordinator with ties to Derek Carr and Ryan Tannehill.
Uh-oh.
I guess the Rodgers thing might not be working out.
All right. Nate, you can see yourself out now. Thanks for your service.
Ultra Nate's not working there.
Oh, my God. Oh, man. What a mess. Oh, there you have it. All right. Well, that does it for us. We will see you guys again tomorrow. We'll be back tomorrow.
Is tomorrow just Facebook?
No, that'll be Thursday.
Okay.
Yep, Thursday we'll be on only Facebook. Tomorrow we'll be on all platforms. We'll see you tomorrow. The Gary Ayd Show here on the Cave.